What was the thing that kind of, got you into the streets, right? Because, we know a lot of ball players who kind of dabbled in both worlds, but for you to do that first before you even got into basketball, what was that like for you, and how did you, get in that lifestyle?
It was easy because my father's side of the family was heavily into it, right? Some people call it the Grant Cartel, whatever. And, growing up in a family with Rastafarians and just the lifestyle and the culture, I never really knew weed was illegal until I was like 12 years old.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So getting access to cannabis at the time and people paying me $5 for a pack and I ain't paying for the weed, that was my natural hustle. Like I was smart, I was intelligent, you know what I'm saying? I was always in the smart classes. I just used to get into trouble because I was smart. So, again, sports wasn't even a thing. It was something I did. You know what I'm saying? My parents liked the idea of me playing sports. They just didn't like me getting hurt all the time. You know what I mean? But again, it's my background. That's why I always say my perspective different, because I had a life before basketball. You know what I'm saying? So when I see dudes, these fake tough guys and all this, I was like, you decided to get tough after basketball? Like,
that's a fact.
Like, you guys are like, man, confusing to me. Like,
right,
when did you become a bully, or when were you tough? You know what I'm saying? I beat up bullies before I even played basketball. You know what I'm saying? I went to Grady. Nobody wasn't messing with me. Everybody was under pressure. But again, it wasn't that I was a bully. I respected everybody. But if I saw that you was playing tough, again, I was ignorant. I'm from 94th and Clarkson. I thought we was the worst, baddest people in the world. So then I had my uncles that nobody was messing with. So I'm bulletproof, But it saved me a lot, but it also put me in awkward positions at a young age that I learned from. That's why I try to stay away from any kind of violence, because I know how fast it could go left. I still know ignorant people that don't even remember me for playing basketball. They remember young Ty.
Right.
You know what I mean? Some of them just came home. So I be like, yo, I'm a civilian. That's why I always post like, I'm a civilian. I talk shit. I'm a civilian. I don't want no problems. So that's why I'm entertained by these guys who are involved with basketball and they talk crazy, and I'm just like, all right, it's entertainment for me. Just strictly entertainment.
So when you stop playing basketball and you start your own programming team first, right? You're able to mentor kids on a real level because you've seen both sides.
Absolutely.
How was that an advantage for you?
It's a huge advantage because I'm front line. I mean, my title, CEO, all this stuff is just a title. I'm a frontline dude. Like, I got to get to the gist of what's going on, right? Because nobody probably thought I could have got the help that I needed, but I knew what strong, intelligent black men did for me. You know what I'm saying? So it's important for me to help these kids, and we're not even talking about basketball yet. It was important for me to help these kids and mentor, right? People use that, but it's kind of cliche. But be around these kids, meet them where they at, and look for the answer to their issues, right? And that's what I did. That's how Team First started. Like, I did camps at Cleansville, but my main part of it was to go into schools and be involved with these kids. Because everybody don't play sports.
That's right.
Everybody don't play sports. The majority of the population don't play sports, right?
That's a fact.
So, again, I because of basketball and the luxuries of basketball, I was fortunate to see both sides of the world. You know what I'm saying? Live a certain lifestyle, but then I could still go back to my hood. And they used to like smack me in my face like, damn, this is what I came from. It never affected me. I wanted to react to it, right? So I'm saying I'm from Brooklyn, whatever, but I live in Monte Carlo. You know what I'm saying? I'm out in Monte Carlo smoking weed and having real conversations about like who really owned the record industry. And the dude that owned the $75 million penthouse in the building I stay at, he owned the, you know what I'm saying? So this is the type of stuff I was seeing. And I just was like, yeah, I gotta bring this back to my community as a whole.
Man, you being from the city, being from the town, and being world traveled, right? Outside of the normal spaces where guys like us are, right? What was that the real motivation to bring what you learned back and seeing that lifestyle?
100%. I mean, when I was playing, like when my last probably 5 years playing in Europe, I would come back to New York. I mean, I was living between New York and South Beach, and I would always have a group of kids that I mentor, right? They would literally hang out with me. My ex-wife at the time used to love it because that meant we was going to spend more time together and I wouldn't be outside so much, right? Because I always knew I had to get up and go get the young boys and girls.
Yeah.
And I always knew that's what I want to do, but I was just spending money, my money. I didn't know, and most of us don't know, that there's a business of giving back, right? And I didn't know until I got into the schools and the principal was like, nah, you spending too much money on these kids.
There's a budget for that.
There's a budget for that, right? And that's when I transitioned into a real company because I had no idea. So I always made it a point to come back and hang out with some of these so-called bad kids.
Man, so let's go back a little bit, right? You get into Grady, Norm convinced you to join the team. What was those first practices like? You know?
Oh shit, man! So,
and then having Jock as the coach, which I already know, is just super over the top.
Listen, even now, I have a bad way of expressing how much I love Jock. Jock, you know, people say people change their life, right? But Jock changed my life through basketball in a variety of ways, right? So we're talking about discipline and structure. You know, coming from the inner cities, discipline and structure don't exist.
That's a fact.
Most of the time, right? In a positive light, right?
Yep.
It exists in, you know, these foolish street rules, gang rules, or whatever. Jock shredded that shit after 1 week of practice, right? And that was just a mental fuck for me because just the level that you have to work to be ready to practice changed my life. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to prove to myself that I can actually accomplish this, right? So when you're talking about the first day, Jock is talking about we got to run the beach in Timberland boots for like 3 miles and then run the street right back to Grady. And I'm jogging past Lincoln every day to get back to Grady. You talking about a mental fuck pool? Every day, like I'm waking up thinking about this shit. I'm thinking about like, do I really want to do this? Because again, it was my choice, right? And Jock instilled confidence in me at the same time as breaking me down. You know what I mean? So that experience alone propelled me into everything else. Where that I can do anything. Like I can make $1 million. Word, all right, I'm gonna do what it takes. You know what I mean?
Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Ready? Yeah. You have just stepped into the world of